Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today I'm going to talk about CLAs and cleanings and maintenance and work and spending money on fixing up an older camera. Because sometimes I don't think it's necessary. If you get a Leica and the shutter speeds from a 30th to 1,000 are working pretty accurately and the slow ones are a little bit slow, I wouldn't send that out. I wouldn't spend $175 or $250 to get that perfectly adjusted, because just by using it at a 60th and a 125th, you may find that those slow shutter speeds start to come around just because of exercise. And if they don't, how often do we use them? And I think a lot of people buy cameras and they buy equipment that they pour some maintenance money into because they're always told CLA, CLA for clean, lube, and adjust. And I don't think that it's completely necessary all the time. I think it's sometimes foolish money that could be better spent on film. So I was at the camera show and a guy had this Hasselblad. In fact, another watcher of my show came up and introduced himself to me, and he bought the Hasselblad that this was with. It was a 500 CM. The guy wanted $900 for it, and I have a 500 CM, so I have no interest in it, but it was interesting that somebody else was able to pick it up, and he got it for $500. He told me after the show. We were walking out. And I went back in to look for one more thing, and the guy who had the back that went with that camera, he didn't sell it to the other guy for $500, and he said, hey, you were interested in this back. And I had told him I'd give him $50 for it, and then he said it has a slight light leak. When you pull the dark slide out, there's a slight light leak right at one of these edges, I think right where the dark slide goes in. And he said it needs new foam. And I said, oh, okay, never mind. And then after he sold the camera to this other guy, who I hope he's enjoying his camera, he came running up to me and he goes, hey, do you still want this back? And I said, well, not if it's got a light leak. I go, I'll give you $30 for it. He goes, $30? I can't give it to you for $30. It's a Hasselblad film back, 120 film back. And I said, well, that's what I'll go because I, have a light leak in it. He said, okay. Well, part of it is knowing how I work. There's no reason to think that I'm ever going to take that Hasselblad probably out into the field. That's my studio camera. That's what I use to do portraits in my studio. And my studio, when I'm shooting, is rather dark, except for the modeling lights on my studio flashes, but the rest of the room is pretty dark. And I doubt that in the time that it takes me to shoot a roll of film, and I'll typically shoot the whole roll on a portrait session, I doubt that any of that light is going to get into that little piece unless it was hard sunlight. And even if it was hard sunlight, why couldn't I just put a little piece of tape on that? For $30, it would be better to not invest any more money into this because it'll work as it is the way I work. Knowing the way I work, I know I can make this work. And I heard that the foam isn't that terribly expensive and I can get my own and I can put it in myself. And maybe I'll do that. That's not something that is beyond the realm of possibility, but I certainly wouldn't pay somebody and send it out. That money could be better well spent buying film and shooting film and doing more pictures than getting this made perfect by somebody else, especially after you got such a bargain. So again, maybe down the road, maybe I'll get the foam, but the way I shoot, I may never need it. And I'll do a test on the back and make sure it's working and it's not giving me a whole bunch of flare or any kind of a edge burn or anything, but I doubt it's going to. And my point is, buy what you need. CLA when you absolutely need to. If you have a shutter that's, doesn't even move or is stuck open and it's not moving, sure, go get it fixed. But if you are in a place where you are able to use it at the speeds that you need it, or in the way that I shoot in a darkened studio, I say spend that money on more important things like film and more adventures. Go take that money and travel somewhere for $150 or $200. All right, that's my photography talk, my rant against CLAs, although they are sometimes necessary. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. We'll talk photography again soon. If you can, hit the Patreon button. I could use the support. Thanks so much.